Some interesting situations, certainly with the work and the schools and, lockdown and so forth, mixed feelings and different opinions too. Can you tell us what your thoughts are on that?
Look, there's wildly different reactions to the pandemic, and it has changed over the year. And some people have found that they work brilliantly in their own environment. They are enjoying not using public transport, no time delay to start work. Others have found it a real intrusion into their life, hard to separate their home life from their work life. So we've got varied reactions to it. And a lot of people have developed new habits where they're very, very comfortable in a relaxed environment in their home. So the challenge is, how do we get people back? And do we really need to get people back?
There's a real double-edged sword here, isn't there? Because you've got on one hand those that have had some really good psychological experiences thinking, oh, we can cope with anything now. And then on the other hand, you've got those who may have been vulnerable, who are very worried about what happens next. Are we going to go back into a lockdown? And you're in Melbourne, and this is big, particularly younger age groups as well, who hadn't seen anything like this.
Look, I think that what really is happening is we are transforming as human beings. And the thing is that we can't look at going back to offices as going back to normal the way it was in 2019. We actually have to go forward to a new hybrid type of workplace, work style. We need to be engaging employers and staff, managers and teams need to get together face to face and talk about how do we want to work in the future. And we need to find very much solutions that work for individuals, and everybody is different. So we can't anymore say everybody works 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. We're going to have to change that. We're going to have to talk together about how can we make the workplace really inviting, because we've got used to lounging about, taking our laptop on the couch and going into the kitchen, and maybe we need some hybrid workplaces with coffee shop style environments, open plan areas with couches and tables so that we can interact with people.
And maybe we need a good old laugh occasionally. We've spoken earlier about how you work with comedy in some of your programs. How important is it to include some sort of comedy relief in such a terrible situation that we're going through?
Look, we do, and people have had a lot of challenging mental health issues in the last 12 months. The increase in referrals to people like me and other psychologists is enormous, and there have been a lot of challenges. So we need to get people back, communicating and talking. It's almost like that feeling you have when you go for your first job interview or you're going to start school as a kid. There's a lot of feeling about going back and kind of breaking into that barrier of seeing people again. But what we may have forgotten is that joy of change, the joy of when you get to work and you see your colleagues and you interact and you have those random interactions, the joy of coming home from work to see your family. And there's an appreciation of both. And that is something that we have lost by staying in the one environment and getting used to that and getting used to less socialising. So we need to kind of find our way back and find what works for us.
Yeah, and you've got to find, I love the fact that you love the comedy and the lighter side. I find that is what drives me. There's nothing quite as good as a good cry when you're crying, laughing. It just works. But just on a positive front in the workplace, I think a lot of people realise now who really got smacked up last year think, well, okay, if that's the best you've got, I can cope through this. Okay, I can manage the family finances. I can manage my job. I think that there's a fair bit of that going on as well.
Look, I think we're discovering that we're very flexible people, because even at first when people were saying, well, I don't have a workspace, a lot of people have managed to find an area that's less distraction, have got a better chair, have got a better screen. So we can do things differently. We've probably learnt to save money. We've probably changed our habits. It's almost like we've been rebooted over the last year. And now we need to find that lightness, that kind of fun element. And we're finding all over the world people are engaging with our comedy programs. And I've managed to shoot some new ones with my American team by getting them in their own lockdown to shoot their bits as Zoom elements in my videos. So it's amazing what we can do when we're limited. We still have control over many things.
We certainly do. And just finally, where can we find these videos?
eveash.com.
eveash.com.
Yeah, eveash.com.
Thank you so much for joining us on Weekend Edition. Eve Ash, motivational psychologist and filmmaker. Take care.
Thank you.